format or anything? I mean, it's 10 minutes or whatever, really.
Um, no real questions. Just like, uh, when does it go out? How do we, what do we,
It's
who do
going to go
we,
out right now.
right, okay. Are we,
Oh,
are we live?
uh,
Are we,
we're going to be live in about, I don't know, 3 seconds maybe. All right,
oh,
it's
right.
now live. So it's going out now.
Oh, hi.
Um,
I feel like I'm about to read the news.
all right, you're on three, two, and don't look at
Breaking news.
don't look at
Sorry.
the.
No, breaking news. Jay Suko invites Nottingham improviser Lloydie James Lloyd to do 10 minutes with. In the weather, sunshine in Nottingham and rain in the rest of the world because the sun always shines in Nottingham. Over to you, Jay.
Speaking of rain, I'll tell you what, it sure rained deals down at I love news anchor transitions. They're the best, silliest thing ever. So I love doing that. There's a short form game that's based on like a newscast, and that's my favorite to play because you just do all the tropes of those newscasters.
Love it.
It's so fun. Let's go a number 1 to 30. Pick a number 1 to 30.
It has to be my favorite number because I was born on it, and that is 13.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This comes from Jay Gregory, who's on somewhat of a roll of his suggestions getting selected just based on where they are.
Way to
His
go, Jay.
way to go, Jay.
Is he going
Hickory.
to give us the lottery numbers too?
Yes, he
Because I
is.
want those.
uh,
I do.
Hickory Dickory Dock is his suggestion. Hickory
Oh,
Dickory Dock.
Dickory
Thanks,
Dock.
Jay.
Okay, thank you. I feel like I feel like we're late.
Right? I double checked before, honest to God, I double checked before we left, and we're my calculations say that we're actually early, but it feels you're right. There's no one here. It feels like we're late.
Yeah. I mean, like it feels like maybe everyone went in or something, but I entered it into my iPhone and it does the time to walk there and everything. We should be this this shouldn't be happening.
So then why are we both feeling that we're late? Is it nerves, anxiety? Maybe it's anxiety?
It's, guilt.
Ah, it's guilt.
I mean, I just get guilty. Like even when it's not my fault. I've been like this since I was at school. When the teacher said who threw the stones at the class greenhouse, it was usually me. In my head, even though it wasn't. It was always Ryan Simmons. It was always Ryan Simmons that did it, but I
Oh, of
always
course.
felt
I
like it
mean,
was me.
he did everything, and the reason it was always him is because he got away with it. That was the thing. He's one of those dudes that gets away with it. You know what he's doing now? You'll never guess what he's doing now.
Go on. Um, I don't know. He's running a car dealership. He's married to a footballer. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yes, those are both true. He's head of council.
What?
Yeah,
He's
in
wait.
Leicester,
He's
head of council.
wait. He's the leader of Leicester City Council, not the county council, the city council in
Yes,
Leicester.
yes. Which shows that anybody can do it. He just learned at a young age. People will take the fall for him.
Wow,
Yeah, I didn't
that
want to
is
tell you.
amazing.
I didn't want to tell you he's going to be in the meeting. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to add more anxiety to it, but he is going to be part of the decision-making process.
Well, now I feel awful because we're going to be in there trying to make a decision. He will probably make the wrong decision because that's all he's ever done in his life. And then I'm going to end up admitting it was my fault when it's not.
Yeah. I don't
This
think
is,
I don't think he'll remember us.
well, I hope not. I
No,
mean, it's
I
just,
saw him. I saw him the year after first year at university. He was like, "Hi, do I know you?" And it was like, "Oh," and I started explaining who I was, and this look went on his face, and it was like, so I would doubt he would know us all these years later.
I mean, I've been posting on his Facebook a lot. I didn't realize he ran the council. I've been I've been posting memes, just like fun
Everybody loves
memes.
memes. Everybody loves memes.
Um, like
What?
most of them are
What?
SpongeBob, and he's and it's got a few swears in it because SpongeBob swearing seems funny. And oh no, oh he won't remember my name. I'll just be SpongeBob Swearman, won't I?
Yeah.
Oh man, no.
He's one of those
Oh
dudes that latches on to a nickname and he doesn't let it go.
yeah.
He finally remembered who I was, but he couldn't tell me my name.
Oh no.
Yeah. And he went like this, like it was this glazed look on his face. And then he looked at me and he goes, "The dork."
Dork. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And I go, "That was a long time ago. I've grown, I've literally grown now." And he
Oh,
goes, "Okay, dork." And then walked away. And that was the last time I talked to him. And that's almost 20 years now.
oh God. What if I go in there and he calls me Cutlery Boy? What if he calls me Cutlery Boy when I go in there?
Well, okay, so
Like,
this is for our strategy right now. Do we want to go in there and deliver what we think they want, or do we want to deliver what we have
I
and
don't.
then let the chips fall where they may?
Whatever we do, I'm going to have to take the knife and fork out of my pocket, and I'm going to have to leave them outside because if he sees me with cutlery,
Daryl,
then
put it back in. Are you kidding me? That's your safety blanket.
you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't go in without them.
Daryl, that was a test.
Well, oh no, no. I'm
What do you
taking.
want to
Sorry.
do? What do you want to do? I don't
I
want to tell
don't.
you what to do.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm panicking. I'm panicking, Gary. I'm panicking because I don't want to be. I don't want to be known as Cutlery Boy. I want to propose a new development for a shopping mall. Okay.
Isn't it? Isn't this amazing? All
Our
these years later.
architects firm deserve the commission. We deserve to build Leicester's biggest shopping mall.
I mean, what? It's amazing what things trigger us.
I should have brought a fish fork. I don't feel prepared. I should have brought a fish fork as well as an ordinary fork. The fork I've got doesn't have ridges in it.
This
Do they have a canteen here? Do they have a canteen? Excuse me, is there a canteen?
we
Is
just
there
need if we could.
just a
Okay,
could you get me a
that's a
do
good
you have a fish?
sign. That's a good sign that someone's here. That's a good sign.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good.
A fish fork, if you have one. I know
Oh yes,
we're okay
please.
with water. We're okay with the water, but really we could, if
Is
you wouldn't mind.
could you before you go, could you I know it's a bit of a stretch, but do you have a grapefruit spoon?
If you have it, it's got the
It's like it's
little marks. Yeah,
yes,
yeah, a little spoon.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Either or both of those would be great. I no, I'm fine with water. I've got the bottled water. I just took it. I hope you don't mind. I just took some bottled water. It was on your desk. You weren't here, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad I saw them. Okay, so again, this is whew, let's go through the pitch. This is an environmentally conscious building with vertical plantings, green roof. It's got urban
I'm
solar
dork.
panels.
You're no sorry. 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 Sorry.
What?
You were doing great. I got very nervous. I jumped the gun. I introduced myself as the door. Like it's in my head.
Okay, look, like you've got this. You've got this. I believe in you. You know, you know how you got through this in school, and you can do it the same way. You just have to look as angry as possible, and you'll power through
Punch
because
me in
no one
the
will
face.
want to mess with you when you. Yeah.
Punch me in the face.
Okay. Like okay for old time's sake, but
You're
it
doing it
won't be
for
too
me.
hard.
Punch me in the face. God, that was good. Oh my,
was a little harder than I meant to do it, and I'm really sorry. It's just
I think you should.
they've they've got grapefruit spoons. They've got grapefruit spoons. Hang on, they've got grapefruit spoons. Look, they've brought grapefruit spoons. Have you got a handkerchief or some tissues? His nose is bleeding.
I think you shattered my septum.
Oh God, that is more than I meant to do. I am so sorry. It's have a napkin. Have a napkin. Have a napkin. Have a napkin.
Thank you.
Have a napkin. And, oh
Oh,
God. Oh God, you can't go in there with blood on you. You can't.
oh. I would rather go in there with blood on my face than go in there second guessing myself.
Okay, good on you. And I would rather go in there with a grapefruit spoon and a fish fork than go in there without cutlery and feel naked.
Yeah,
I
it's,
could
it's a
sit
lot.
down at a banquet right now and I would be replete with cutlery, and that is all I need.
I mean, this is a sign that they have a grapefruit spoon and a fish fork.
I
It,
feel like you're right. You are bleeding a lot, but like I feel like you're right.
oh,
Aren't you meant to angle the nose down a little bit when you bleed rather than
just keep.
up? Like angle like because otherwise it goes down your throat and that's bad. You shouldn't swallow the blood. You shouldn't swallow the blood.
Oh, yeah, that's us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We're,
Okay,
we're on.
okay. Um, here we go.
Oh,
Ah! I've dropped everything.
scene. Oh, yes, that was so fun.
Oh, thank you so much. I had so much fun doing that
I
with
love,
you.
I love you're like, can I get a fish fork and a grape? It's such a, it's fun to play. It's fun to play people who make those choices.
Yeah, I mean, but also I feel like we all make choices like that. We've all got like
Yes.
little security, but like I have little rituals that I do, especially when I'm nervous about something. And that was that was so punch me in the face, punch me in the face.
Let's be right. I think it's so much fun when you make terrible in life, what would be terrible suggestions. And you have somebody who goes, sounds good. Like, I think that's the most fun way to play is like, what are the wrong choices we can make in this situation? How can we make this worse rather than trying to make it better?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I always love seeing that. That's just it's too enjoyable because
It's
once you're in that groove, it's like, oh, I want to see this snowball. I want to see the snowball go down the hill. No one wants to see the snowball stop and shed its snow
so
and go back up the hill. No one wants that.
I fucking love that, dude. Nobody wants to see the snowball stop and then go back up. They want to see it keep going.
Yeah, of course. I just made that up, but yeah, I want to see it go down. I want to see it get bigger.
I can't wait to
Uh,
steal it and claim it as my own.
do it. Do it absolutely.
How did you get into improv? What brought you in?
Ah, well, now I did do some when I was at school, when I was like 15, 16 in the UK for what we call our GCSE exams, which you have to take like 9 of when you're 16. And I did improv in that. And I'll come back to that in a second because a weird thing happened. Um, then, then from the age of 16, I did no improv until the age of 34.
What?
And then at 34, I moved to Nottingham like 13 years ago. And I'd already written like a couple of little comedy plays that had been put on locally in the previous place that I lived. And I was looking for something theatery and comedy-ish to do, and I thought maybe join a theatre club and do stand-up. I've never done either. Let's do that. Didn't do that. Found improv because I watched Tina Fey doing a monologue about ham on YouTube, and I was like, oh, wonder if people do monologues about ham in Nottingham. Not quite what I did, but you know, I found improv in Nottingham, and within a year. I was so addicted that I booked a trip to New York. I booked on an Improv 101 course, and I'd only done short form up to that point, really.
Wow.
And I just thought I was going to learn some new games. I did not know what long form was. I went to, I I arrived on the Saturday. I went on the Saturday night, saw Let's Have a Ball with like Scott Adsit in it, Kay Cannon was in it,
Wait,
Rebecca Drysdale was in
that
it,
was the
and that was
first
the first
show.
long form show I ever saw. Yeah, right. I looked at it and went, "Well, I've booked the wrong course, haven't I? I can't do this." And then had like literally, I hate saying it because it sounds horrific, but I had a life-changing week. That week genuinely changed my life. And then six
So
months later, I
horrific.
was there doing.
So horrific, dude. So
But it's so cheesy. And then like I was finding teachers to fly over to like work with groups I was in. So because you know I couldn't keep affording to like spend loads of time out of
right.
the country, and I wanted this stuff, and then it's you know over 13 years it's become my passion, my life's work, my like the thing that I love the most, and you know my part-time living as well, like that and broadcasting. But the reason I said I'd come back to what I did at school was after about 3 or 4 years ago, after like nearly a decade of improv, I was at my dad's place and he had all my school reports. And I was just looking through them and I found one from my final year from when I was 16. And I found my drama report and it said that I'd had a very good term, blah, blah, blah. And it said James, as I was known then, has a particular flair for improvisation. And I was like, my drama teacher spotted it at 16. It took me another, what was it, 18 years
What?
before I then actually did it. And I was like, sometimes you've got to listen to your teachers, haven't you?
Oh my God. That is incredible.
I, yeah, I,
Wow. Is that teacher still around? Do you know how to contact? Have you reached out to them at all? Is
I,
that,
when I saw it, I emailed him and I said, hey,
wow.
Mr. Adams, you might or might not remember me. I was President Roosevelt in Annie. The sun will come out. Best role, by the way, because you're only on in the second half. Someone does all your blocking for you because you're being wheeled around, and you get loads of funny lines and the main song in the musical. It's just the best part in the world.
Perfect.
Um, and I said, you may not remember. And he wrote back within a day, he said, I remember you. This is such great news. I'm really glad to hear that that's what you've picked up and gone and done. And yeah,
Do you
it was just lovely.
do you think that's subconsciously or consciously, that's why you also really enjoy teaching and helping people learn, is because of that, or looking back on that impact, or are you just somebody who likes to share information or knowledge, or
Well, the original reason I started teaching was I was in a community where no one else had done long form. So I was like, I wasn't so much teaching as I was, look, I found out this thing. This is kind of how I think it works. And
can
like,
we all
just
do it? Let's
sharing
all
it.
do it. Let's all do it.
Let's do the thing. Let's do the thing. This is called an Armando. Don't worry why it's called Armando. Let's just do it. And like, I'm probably not explaining it right, but like, you walk across the front of the stage, like we finished the scene now. Okay, let's. So that was it. And then over time, um, I, I mean, I've taken facilitation courses for like non-improv stuff
Yeah.
and coaching courses as well as part of my job. So I realized I was actually really enjoying watching other people have that moment of like those moments of oh my god this thing has worked is is just so lovely. And I'm teaching a course at the moment, a musical improv course called Genre Roller Coaster with Joe Samuel.
Oh,
And each week we unpack a different musical genre. And we have done sea shanties. We have done next week we're doing new romantics. We're doing like the whole we've done divas this week on Tuesday. So like we dissected a Mariah Carey song and a moment like this,
wow.
which is both a Kelly Clarkson and a Leona Lewis song. And we go, so what's the lyrical content? What's the musical emotion? And then we work out, okay, so how do we improvise in this style? And I am having one of the most fun experiences that I've ever had as a teacher doing it with Joe. We are having a blast. The class are, I mean, ask them, but they are incredible. We've got an incredible group for it, and it just lights me up. Just seeing people having that much joy and being able to facilitate that is, I I get a huge kick out of it.
And it's
Yeah.
teaching people deeper than here's the structure, here's why you do it, here's some shortcuts, and it's this and that, and you're playing the tropes of that style. You're really getting into what makes that song specific to that genre. So then you're giving people those tools to go in to go, I can really, it's not about how I've learned it before. This is a kind of a new way to learn how to do musical improv with specific things like sea shanty.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wondered. I mean, I wondered when we set it up whether the course would work or not because basically, like, it's 2 hours, and we really should have probably done 2.5. But it's 2 hours on Zoom, and the first half an hour, nobody improvises. Everybody listens to the songs that were the homework, and then they discuss them. And we also, while the songs are on, the chat is on fire. By the way, the group I've got are
Great.
hilarious and like really dig into it. Um, but then I almost feel like a fraud as a teacher because I'm just facilitating. So what did you think? So what are we listing as the things that we need? And I will just help them make the choices that they want to make. So like, yes, I'm choosing the style that we do each week along with Joe, but the rest of the time they are assembling it and they go away knowing that, oh yeah, if I did a long form or a short form show, I could take a suggestion, do a sea shanty, and I know what they're all about. Like I have found out so much about musical styles doing
Yeah.
this. I didn't know people were actually employed to go on boats to do sea shanties. Like they were shantymen, but because they're work songs, you're there to, the people were on the boat to work, and the music G'd them along. It's like playing music in an office to get people,
I
in a
mean,
good vibe.
it's so funny. You also say like I feel like a fraud, which you we always feel that way, right? As teachers or performers or artists, you're always going to feel that way. But you're also saying like, well, I'm helping them kind of discover how to do this in their way. It's like, well, that's what I think all teachers should strive to do is like, I'm just helping guide you and I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm helping you understand how to do your style and your thing along the lines of whatever this genre is.
Mm. They're, it's just as the weeks have gone on, people are now turning up with props, with costumes. Like we haven't asked for this. This was not written into the like. They are. I mean, I can't tell you what fun I'm having with the group that we've got, and it is. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So that's why I'm teaching because it's too fun. It's too fun not
yeah.
to.
And you learn so much more because there's more students than teachers. So you're going to learn more of how things can be done or different styles, and you learn how to navigate personalities and egos. And it's such a, to me, classes are such a great, it's a selfish thing. I'm learning more than the students are. And you're also kind of king of, well, let's just do it and see what happens. Like I have an idea, let's put it up and do it. And there are so many people who don't want to take that next step to do it. It's like, I don't know, try and do it and see what happens, then adjust it if it doesn't work. But more often than not, just doing it is part of the success.
Oh yeah, I think and trying stuff out is as important as a teacher, I think, than it is as an improviser.
Mm.
Um, One teacher I really really love is my friend Tim Sniffen, who
Oh,
is in Baby
yes.
Wants Candy, and Tim I love so much. He's coached both my team Rhymes Against Humanity and the Maydays at different times, and he would sometimes come in to a coaching session and go, I woke up this morning and I had this idea in my head. So let's just try it out and do it. And then it would always be this stellar exercise that I'm like, oh, I have to
Totally.
write this down.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember one that he did. It was basically the group had to slowly but surely just like be sussing each other out and then decide in group mind that one of the group was like, I don't know, evil or whatever and
The
turn on them, but do it
murderer.
all silently. Yeah, exactly. And it was just stuff that he did was, yeah, really transformational to some of the groups I've been in.
He is such an underrated performer and teacher and coach that when you mention these like people of, oh, I want to have this person or that person, or have you taken a class with this person, his name is one that should be included in a lot of those teachers because of the effect and the empathy he has as a teacher and coach as well.
Hmm. I credit him with really with the fact that my musical improv team Rhymes Against Humanity is as successful as it is.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, we have got just a group of talented people, but what he was able to do was make what we did and who we were knit together in such a way that we could really do a narrative musical.
Yeah.
And he did that in an intensive weekend. Like he'd sent us notes ahead of time and what have you, and we had been rehearsing for about a year by that point. But he took everything and he just went, And so let's knit that together there. Okay, I'm off. It's been a weekend. You're good now. Bye. I was just like, what just happened?
Don't
Yeah.
go. Don't go. Please don't go, Tim. Don't go.
I mean, I resent the fact that he's gone back to your country now and has left mine. So
We gave him up for as long as we could.
yeah,
We need
I
him.
know. I understand. Yeah.
Where can you do a ton of things. What is the best way if people want to follow what you're doing, if they want to reach out to you and bring you on board as a teacher or coach or work with you or follow shows or anything like that? What are some of the ways they can do that?
I am glad you asked that because I've been meaning to update my website for a while and I haven't. So
Do it
thank you.
today.
Because yeah, I mean, I am working on it. I am working on it. Um, I think the best way is twofold. Um, Firstly, you can get me on Twitter and Instagram as at LloydieJL. Um, the other great way is actually I do a podcast called the Improv Chronicle podcast. Improvchronicle.com is the way to get that. And like I do a newsletter through that and all sorts of stuff. And whilst it's mainly about other people, to be fair, every now and again I drop in, oh, by the way, I'm doing this. Hi. Um, but yeah, those are the two ways I think. Yeah.
Yeah, your
Did that
podcast.
answer your question?
Yeah, that's perfect. And that I mean, we didn't even talk about the podcast, but it's like it's one of those podcasts that as a teacher, you always get asked, what are some resources? What are some podcasts or books we can listen to and things like that? And that's always on my list of podcasts to show people and to have people listen to because it's such a wealth of information that's easily digested rather than sometimes they get real theoretical. And as a newer performer, you can get lost in like the technology, like the techniques and things like that versus like just sit back, listen to this, have it on. You're going to learn so much just from hearing the conversation.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, I will be hitting you up at some point about being a guest if you're willing. I'm just saying.
Dude, anytime to talk to you, anytime.
Ah,
I mean it, anytime.
you lovely human. Thank you. You are.
You are the best. I can't wait, whether it's in person or virtual again. I can't wait to play with you. Thank you for taking time
Oh,
out, my friend.
thank you for having me. I've had the best time.
Oh,
Thank you, Jay.
see you, buddy.
Cheers.